There is this absolutely garbage notion that has been spreading like wildfire lately, and it seeks to propagate that young people these days are weak and lazy, and it's often been propagated by old people, like usually boomers. Boomers are people who are age 65 and above, like for who don't know. Um, I don't think young people today um, are lazy or they are weak. Sorry for the sound in the background. It's a car. Someone just started his car. I am currently at the stadium, University of Ghana Stadium. So I just finished my workout. Um, so I seek to, or I'm making this video to debunk or like to say that it's actually otherwise. Um, it's not true that young people are weak and lazy. The issue is what I think is that young people today are leaderless. They don't have quality leaders to look up to, and then they themselves are not leaders of themselves. Or let me explain. So I think it's also very important to mention that the generation or the people who are propagating this prejudice against young people today, who are like the old people or the boomers, as I said, are the same people who brought us up. They were the people who looked after young people. They are the people who were entrusted with the care of young people, and they didn't train them well. They didn't give them leadership leadership trainings that would go on to help them later on in their lives. They have not only been able to breed people who in theory you would think are lazy or weak, but they have also like infused entitlement and lack of responsibility, lack of accountability in them. So, and then you go back and then you be like, yeah, you are lazy, you are weak. Meanwhile, you're the one who brought me up, and you're the one who infused all of these bad habits in me. So, so the point I'm actually trying to make right now is that the older generation has failed young people, but um, it's necessary for young people to not hold that sense of that sense of, yeah, you were supposed to do it for me and you didn't do it for me, so like I'll just be there and then like I'll crumble, I'll fold. Just look at the state of the mental health of young people right now. Like it's the worst it's ever been. Hand young people leadership skills and then you realize that emotional intelligence is a very strong pillar in leadership. Every leader, every good leader is very good or is very emotionally intelligent. So it's not just that, it's about self-awareness, self-efficacy, self-confidence. All of these are very important leadership qualities that can be transmitted to young people, and then it will help them be better young people so that they become better older people. Also, okay, so it's also worth mentioning that although I'm talking about the fact that older people have failed young people, you can also make a point that like it's not their fault. They were also brought up that way. They grew up with like lots of insecurities, lots of can you just imagine, like most of them grew up like during war, and like they didn't have like good care, like, so it's very important to also acknowledge that like it's not their fault also. So what I'm getting at is that it's not anyone's fault. Yeah, so whoever is struggling needs to work for themselves and work so that they get out of like the trouble that they are in. So I've decided to create this YouTube channel so that I'll teach what I've been able to get to understand, like in terms of leadership as it relates to like emotional intelligence. It's very important. It's so important. Like I can't even overstate it. Not just that. So like as it relates to emotional intelligence, you get to understand what some of the coping mechanisms are when a human being is dealing with stress, and like, because like stress will come, like stress will always come. Like you just need to man up and be strong. Yeah, if you're a woman, you woman up as well. So as you would realize, you would come to know that most of the things I'm saying so far and the examples that I'm giving are like um, things that are not typical of like what you think when you think about leadership, because leadership is what you think when someone is leading someone. But like it's important to understand that like before you are able to get the to get to lead other people, you should have been able to have led yourself. Like that's very important. You should be able to have led yourself in order to be able to lead someone. Okay. So far I've been mentioning some terminologies here and there, like, so I would like to make clear some of the terminologies that like I've been mentioning, so that maybe later on or deep dive or I'll dive deep into um all of them. So first of all, like what is leadership itself? Like what is leadership? Leadership, like in simple terms, is influence. Like to be able to influence yourself or to be able to influence somebody or something. That's leadership. So as it would suggest, it would also mean that like if if leadership is influence, then self-leadership would be to be able to influence yourself to do what you have to do or do what you want to do. Yeah. So there is also self-awareness. Usually leaders are very self-aware, like they have a lot of self-awareness. So self-awareness means to know one's intentions and values, like when you know what you stand for and then what you are living for. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, and then you should be able to know your strengths, your weaknesses, and then what you intend to do, what you intend to become, what you intend to have. Yeah, like I think all these are important if you want to become a leader. Yeah, and then there is self-confidence. So self-confidence, um, okay, so it's very important to acknowledge the fact that when you talk about self-confidence is usually domain specific. Like when someone is such a very good gamer, okay, when they grab you in Call of Duty, like they smoke you, yeah, like those people, like domain specific confident. Yeah, but like some people are like domain general confidence, but like it's not very common. So what I would say is that self-confidence is usually like knowing your strengths and abilities. Yeah. So when you know that like you are strong and you are very able like in certain domains, it makes you confident, and then like you always deliver when you are supposed to. Yeah. So in order to be confident, you take action, you develop skills, like you train, you practice, so that you become confident. Then you can do what you want to do or what you have to do. And then there is self-efficacy or self-usefulness. Yeah, so self-efficacy, in simple terms, would mean that is the belief that like whatever comes your way, you can handle it, or like whatever problems like you face, you can come out the other side. Yeah. So self-efficacy helps us to be creative and innovative. Yeah. Find creative ways and innovative ways like to solve your own problems. Yeah, so people who are leaders of themselves or like they are self-leaders, they tend to be like better entrepreneurs, better bosses, better employees, better team players, better team leaders, team captains. So there's lots of benefits to trying to learn to be a leader, like, and then being one. Learning leadership qualities makes you a better friend, a better spouse, or like a better, yeah, a better husband, a better wife, like a better brother, a better sister, a better. It makes you better, like just better in anything, in everything.